New product from iBasso Junior, which is 2 IEM and 1 dongle. iBasso Gelato, which is a budget single DD 10mm IEM, priced at just 22 US dollar. And the higher end, which is still under 100 US dollar at 79 US dollar, iBasso Junior KLEE. And we also have a dongle to match these two, priced at just 46 US dollar, which is iBasso Junior Macaron. Since I'll be doing all three of them, you can actually jump directly to each different segment of the IEM or the dongle itself by just simply clicking the link in the chapters below. For the price of just 22 US dollar, let's just have a look at this Gelato here. Have a look at that. Very premium, I would say, if you consider the price. 10mm dynamic driver, entirely encased in metal housing with this premium looking cable here. And when it comes to the sound aspect itself, the tuning, it is definitely geared towards for younger generation. And I said so because this Gelato is very dynamic sounding, fun sounding. So you can expect a mild V sound curve with emphasis on the lower frequency especially, and a bit of coloration in the mid-range and a bit of dampening in the upper frequency. So which means that the dynamic extension itself kind of a bit roll off. So not very analytical with the upper frequency, but it is fun enough. The energy, the sparkle is there, and the mid-range itself does appear to be colored, which means that it is not exactly suitable for every type of music. And the lower frequency is specially tuned to focus a bit more on the sub bass. So, which literally means that this Gelato is definitely for the younger generation, especially if you like to listen to electronic music, J-pop, K-pop, that sort of music, or even dance music. On the other hand, this iBasso Junior KLEE here is a huge surprise to me. First of all, let me just show you this. Let's just have a look at this graph at the back here. And tell me if you have seen anything released this year that flat. Yes, that is the kind of sound frequency which I would associate more like Etymotic ER series. So this KLEE, priced at 79 US dollar, is in fact premium looking. Just have a look at this. Also entirely made of metal, but the finishing is a bit more premium than the Gelato, as you can see here. Also 10mm dynamic driver and tuned to be easy to drive. Unlike the Gelato, this is reference neutral transparent type of tuning. So it means that I was actually able to use this as a monitoring IEM because it offers the kind of sound accuracy throughout the entire frequency range, from upper frequency, mid-range to the lower frequency, with a very mild hint of boosting in the mid-bass. Very mild. I would say it's like even linear kind of boosting on the lower frequency. So just please excuse me with the noise because somebody is doing some building there. But where was I just now? Okay, like I say, this is transparent, uncolored and neutral. So which means that it is suitable for certain type of music like classical music. And I happen to listen to a lot to classical music, to technical jazz, but not as energetic and fun sounding as the Gelato which I showed you earlier. So depending on your taste and preference, if you like something which is transparent, something which is uncolored, something which you can even use for monitoring, this KLEE is definitely one of my topmost recommendation. 46 US dollar. I think that is a very attractive price for a budget dongle, considering that the build quality of this Macaron, as you can see here, is quite solid. This Macaron does not look like a Junior to me because it is very well built. Compared with DC07 Pro, which is the flagship for iBasso when it comes to dongle, these are the size comparison. And just like iBasso DC07 Pro, iBasso DC03 Pro, DC06 Pro or even DC07 Pro, you can expect this Macaron, you can control it using iBasso app on Android. Let me just show you. So connect it like this, okay? And immediately iBasso app would detect it. Now let's just take a moment to have a look here. It's all anime kind of background. But in case you want to change that, you can do that easily by using this. So I have actually preset here using my Geoff as my background because I love my cat. And if you look at the setting here, of course this is independent volume adjustment, 100 step, which you can easily toggle here. As you can see, it is moving. And also you can control left and right, and digital filter. Now, this is pretty much similar to the higher end iBasso. I have tried this Macaron and I am happy to say that this digital filter really works. For the most part, I always prefer to use N or S, as you can see here, selected. And if I connect it to something which is relatively already bright sounding, resolving, it is always better to use slow roll off. And then of course you have 3 level of gain, which is very useful, and you have also this turbo mode. Despite being junior, this Macaron here, it is not junior at all. It is pretty much almost identical to iBasso DC04 Pro here. So what you can expect is that equal amount of power to drive something like this Sennheiser HD 600, which in my test I was able to achieve proper listening loudness at around 56 out of 100 in high gain from the 4.4 mm balance. That is super impressive. So of course, no issue at all driving any kind of IEMs or headphone that you can think of. 17 hours of runtime from the time of 100% to 1%. I have tested it on my Xiaomi Mi 90. So I'm just gonna simply say that if you need something which is highly efficient with power, Macaron is one you should consider. After spending quite a bit of time using this Macaron here, I'm just gonna simply say that it reminds me a lot to another dongle from iBasso which I really love, which is iBasso DC03 Pro. So why did I say it reminds me a lot to DC03 Pro? Because I think both of them offer similar kind of sound performance when it comes to the dynamic handling, dynamic energy, and the pace and the rhythm and the timbre itself. So this is something which is considered as being hi-fi sort of sounding, kind of a bit boosted with the lower frequency, but at least it is more neutral and more linear when it comes to the mid-range and the upper frequency as compared to the DC03 Pro. I personally think that iBasso did an amazing job here with these 3 items. Despite being labeled as junior to attract younger generation, there's nothing junior about them really when you consider the price and the kind of quality and performance and value that you get out of them. We are talking about iBasso here. iBasso knows what they are doing. They have been like releasing some of the best audio gears in the last 3 years or even 4 years, and it is reflected on these 3 items here. Let's just take an example. This KLEE here, it sounded more like an IEM which costs 100 to 150 US dollar for the transparency, for the neutrality, for the kind of experience which is very surprising to me. And of course this Gelato here, which is fun and engaging, and not forgetting, last but not least, this Macaron here, effectively replaces any kind of recommendation that will be under 50 US dollar for me if anybody were to ask me which is the best dongle from iBasso. This is it, Macaron. So, all 3 of them, amazing. If you like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. And also, please take a moment to click like here. It will really help me out. It is free, by the way. And also, please follow me on Instagram, which I have set up very recently. My Instagram will be a platform for me to provide quick updates on the things that I do beyond this video. And again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart.